February, March, April, there enough nights have no sleep, so kind of that's the way I did it. You know, the lambing will start, we'll say, in January. So you have sheep home and you have to feed them and mind them, and that's a lot in January, so you can't be calving as well. And if the weather is bad, I will use some of my calving pins for ewes and lambs. So to me, it's workload. Mightn't work for other farmers, but it works fine for me. You know, it's lambing, get it out of the way, because when we're lambing 3 weeks, it's nearly done, dusted, and people don't believe me, but it actually put out enough rams, and if you have ewes in good condition, it works.
Hello, I'm Kieran Lynch and welcome to OviCast, the Teagasc Sheep podcast. Each episode will bring latest insights, advice and technical updates for the sheep industry. This week's episode, I'm joined by my colleague Catherine Egan, host of the Beef Edge, as we catch up with County Roscommon beef and sheep farmer Olivia Hynes. We discuss breeding and the use of AI in Olivia's suckler herd, lamb performance this spring and some of the challenges that has thrown up. We discuss mixed grazing, grassland management and investing in grazing infrastructure. We finish up with Olivia highlighting the 3 things she's focused on that have had an impact on the farmer system. We start off with Olivia giving us a bit of background to our farm.
I'm a sheep suckler farmer. I live in Four Roads. There's about 40 acres in the home farm, and 8 miles away then there's an outblock in Teagasc. That's where we keep the sheep, over 120 or 30 acres, and we also lease a bit of land as well up the road. Our system is it's a little bit different than others. We bring home all the ewes, and we'd say cows for calving, sheep for lambing. The sheep would only really be at the home farm for about 2 weeks on the point of lambing. I kind of only put them in for lambing, and then we move them to Teagasc when they're about 10 days old, the lambs.
So slightly different than some. The out farm really is the big grazing block for you, and home farm is where the facilities are.
Yeah, for lambing and calving, we'll say the home block is where we've all that, and the cows will be at home for calving, and they really wouldn't leave the home farm until they're hopefully 6 or 8 weeks in calf. Because I run AI, we always had a bull up to this, but I don't have a bull anymore. So I wouldn't really bring the bull to Teagasc. I just don't, you know what I mean? Because several other reasons, you know, health and safety and everything broke away. So it is we're doing a lot of moving up and down one farm to the other. But the sheep are mainly in Teagasc. That's where we fatten the lambs, whatever, everything has to be done. The sheep is down there, good sheep handling unit. There would be a slatted shed there for winter and the cows, and as I said, they come home and they pound to the calving, and at home on the home farm we'd have slatted sheds, calving bins and calving pens and sheep shed.
Okay, so look, it's just one of them joys of fragmented farms. You have to make it work around your system. Just maybe in terms of numbers, how many cows and how many ewes?
This year we had calving 45 between cows and in-calf heifers, and I lambed I think 270 ewes and between hoggets as well. So.
And you mentioned, Olivia, you're using 100% AI. How is breeding season going so far on the farm?
Only started, we'll say, this week, and so far, fine. Look at 3 or 4, there's 3 for this evening. Cows are in a bit longer, but we give them bonuses, you know what I mean? Bonuses, we gave them one in December. It helped them with calving, and now we decided, seasons are in a bit longer. You know what I mean? And there's no sunshine, and some of the cows are only out about 2 weeks. So we were watching them in the shed, recording when they were, we'll say, coming in heat. So once they went out, thankfully, bit of grass, sunshine, and they're cycling now. So they are started. But as I said, they only started because our calving is a bit later than most farms, because I lamb first and then we go calving.
And when do you start calving then?
This year, I think it was about the 2nd or 3rd week in February. Rather unusual, once again, but it's workload, lamb first, get that out of the way, and then go calving for 6 or 8 weeks, depending on how well, we'll say, AI does. And we'll say our bull didn't work last year, so it was a bit different, you know, about 6 weeks, and then we had 5 calving in April, but hopefully this year will be all AI and hopefully work out.
And the fact you're 100% AI, what AI tools are you using for picking up heats?
When they were in the shed, I was actually recording them. So when I saw them coming, I was writing it down. And even outside, we were writing it down. And then we had a whaling. He had a sore front leg and he wasn't suitable for selling. So we vasectomized him. And he's actually working. Well, you know, cows are picking up. And as I said, they're started. AI is not simple now either. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of work. Looking at the morning, evening, you know, doubting yourself. Is she, isn't she? But when we'll say, lots of paint on them, we're going in and let it be in the morning or the evening, and it's my brother that does it, so we get on well and we do it, and a great choice of bulls.
And what are you looking for in the sires that you're selecting, or what sires have you used so far?
We'll see. When I use AI, in the can we have Belgian Blue, Charolais, Limousine and Simmental. So in the Simmental we're looking for good cows, and we'll hopefully get heifers, but that's not always going to happen. So we'll try and pick good cows that are good milk, good conformation, throw a nice calf. We'll put Simmentals on them. For Belgian Blue we'll go nice black cow, plain cow, and we use Delure, and then maybe on some of our red limousines we'll go a new bull Rolly or something, and he might throw Rony heifers, and sure, they're worth a fortune. They tell us anyway. And we have limousine then for all our heifers.
And what's your target market then for these calves?
Oh, sure. Hopefully someone has loads of money and pay me lots. You know what I mean? We'll keep our heifers. We obviously keep our heifers and try and sell our bull Waylands and get the max, you know what I mean? Have them as heavy as we can, maybe feed the bulls for a few weeks before we sell them. Heifers, yeah, if we sell a few of them, we'll try and push them on grass, push them on milk, and maybe give them a little bit of meal now. Not really much meal, we're kind of push them on grass and as good as grass as they can. And hopefully the cow will have good milk and produce good milk and lots of milk that they'll thrive on that.
Olivia, your sheep system is probably a little bit different insofar as you go with the ewes first and then the cows are coming in. We probably should have asked you this a bit earlier, but why do you go that way around? Labour, I suppose, is one of the big reasons.
Yeah, sure. For a couple of years there, I was calving in December or January. And geez, I nearly missed Christmas dinner on a few occasions. And you know what I mean? You can't be doing that. You have to enjoy Christmas and the New Year. So workload. You know, I decided that, you know what I mean, February, March, April, there are enough nights, have no sleep. So kind of, that's the way I did it. You know, the lambing will start the last week in November, or we'll say in January. So you have sheep home and you have to feed them and mind them, and that's a lot in January, so you can't be calving as well. And if the weather is bad, I will use some of my calving pins for ewes and lambs. So to me it's workload, mightn't work for other farmers, but it works fine for me. You know, it's lambing, get it out of the way, because when we're lambing 3 weeks it's nearly done, dusted, and people don't believe me, but it actually put out enough rams, and if you've ewes in good condition, it works, you know what I mean, and nearly too well. But anyway, that's why it's just workload.
And so look, it goes to highlight, you have to make the system work for you, and that's what does work for you. Look at this year, difficult spring. How has it gone for you with the sheep so far? What's the performance like with them?
Sure, lambing, the weather was lovely. We were very lucky, and we had grass. And then March was, my God, you know what I mean? Grass disappeared. We'll say lambs, technically last year lambs, I think I had lambs going, we'll say this week, first week or second week in May, you know what I mean? But this year they're back a month, you know, and you got to dose them, we'll say about 2 weeks ago. Normally I'd vaccinate them at 6 weeks, give them Pardivis, you know what I mean, if they needed a dose, something. But I didn't get to do that this year, it was so wet. So they are not as good, but our pet lambs are flying it, because of course they were in a machine, fed nice dry bedding, you know what I mean? But look, at the lambs are back a little bit this year, but I don't feed male. You know, I give it to the ewes before lambing and after lambing for a week or two, and then it's grass. So I need to push grass and get them thriving on grass and keep ewes that have good milk, you know what I mean, that'll produce a good lamb.
So look, it's just been a challenging spring on them that has had that bit of a knock on. You know it when you're not drafting at the moment.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know I don't have to go in for another week or that. So maybe after this year now we'll see them, they are coming, and hopefully in the next week or 2 weeks we'll have some lambs going, and look at the price is good. So thankfully, hopefully it'll stay high and we'll still be fine.
You mentioned there, Olivia, it has been a difficult spring for all farmers. How have you managed grass, or how is grass on the farm at the moment?
Look, at grass is coming, you know what I mean. I had to keep cows in a little bit longer. I have some cows, I think I put them out in March because tanks were filling. You know, I needed to get them out maybe a little bit older. I was running out of calf creep space, and I thought straw was going to be an issue, but I let some out, and then I had to keep some in until about 2 weeks ago. I had to let grass grow. I couldn't let them out until I knew once they were out it was safe to leave them out, you know what I mean. But thankfully I had slurry put out on some of the ground, I'd say in March. Maybe went out a little bit of urea or 18612 around Easter. And look, I haven't a whole lot of grass, but at least it's heading the right direction. And once the cows all went out, thankfully they got to stay out. And the sheep, I had grass for, we'll say, summer, March, and then April was so bad I had to start feeding them out pit silage again. And lucky enough, I had some good silage, and they were delighted to get it, and it settled them, you know what I mean. And you know, once the manure went out, luckily we have a good farm and a good runner ground, and kept moving them around. And you know, it's just that the land didn't thrive like they should have. That's how hard it was. And it will come right.
Yeah, and most definitely the last few weeks things have started to change again. You're part of the Future Beef programme. You have made huge changes in recent years implementing a paddock system. What do you see as the main benefits?
I have way more grass than I had. I'm probably not putting out as much fertiliser, and I'm definitely not feeding as much meal because I have grass. I have grass in spring, I have grass in autumn, and you know what I mean. It's a saving itself. The paddocks are fantastic. And this year we will put out a little bit more manure and get more silage. I thought I'd have silage left over, but no, not from, we'll say, the spring I had. So push on grass, and the paddocks have been phenomenal for grass. And we'll say to sell lambs and get a good price and not feed meal, that's a great job, you know what I mean, on grass. And to feed very little, we'll say, meal to weanlings and still get good price, that's down to grass and down to milk, and I think.
And your mix grazing cattle and sheep together, what size paddocks do you have?
Well, at a home farm, we wouldn't be mixing, we'll say, sheep. It'd be really cows would be pushing, and then paddocks could be 3 acres, 1 acre, you know what I mean, one strand of electric. In Teagasc, the out farm, the paddocks are, fields are 6 or 7 acres. And if I have to make them smaller, I can. But there would be cows and calves in them when I know the cow is in calf. So I'd move them down. At the moment, there's ewes and lambs, cull cows. 5 or 6 cull cows down there, and mean calf heifers. So they're moving around with the ewes and lambs in fields, and
How many batches are you running in Teagasc?
At the moment, there's 3 bunches of sheep, and with one of them there's cows and calves and heifers. But I'm waiting on a TB test, so that's why the heifers aren't home yet. I'm due, we'll say, a herd test next week, and I'm kind of tight on grass at the home farm, so I just haven't my heifers brought home to be bulged yet. But three blocks, it will say in Teagasc, 3, you know what I mean, 3 groups of animal, and at home there's only 1 block. Main bunch of cows and calves.
And will you rotate the cattle between the groups, between the different ewe groups, or you kind of keep them consistent, or if there's more grass in one rotation, you move them down to?
I think I'll put the ewes into 2 bunches now. For shearing, I just have 3, you know what I mean, just for gathering and the hoggets, and you know what I mean, I'll go down to 2. And the cows and calves will be in one of them bunches, yeah. That's, you know what I mean. And then when I bring more cows down, there could be 2 bunches, and then there'll be cows and calves in 2 bunches. Bulls in one, cows with bull calves in one field, and we'll say the cows with heifer calves in another. You know what I mean? Something like that. Look,
we were chatting there about the paddocks, and I was fortunate enough for Catherine, we were out on your farm last year. You have a lot invested in it, but the way you went about splitting your fields up, like it's a big area, typical of where you are in Roscommon on it. You went down the long section of the field, you have potential to split it further. I know, Olivia, you mentioned before, something you do during the year. Maybe just in terms of that layout, you went down the longer sections first to give you an option in the future to split up more.
Yeah, kind of, the fields were big and square, and, you know, kind of went, you know, nice size and easier for shaking, manure, topping. We don't have to do it, thankfully, anymore. But the troughs in the middle, and then you can split them again. So it's a nice square field. No kind of points and everything. So we're looking at the fields in the beginning were good and square, and then we made them again. Maybe 7 or 8 acres, maybe some of them a bit more, and then I can split them, and which I do split them in springtime.
And the water trucks, like you had to put in a bit extra pipe in that as well.
Yeah, no, we had to do a lot of that. So we put the kind of in the middle, so if I do split it, water troughs there, and then I can go either side of it, you know what I mean? North, south, east, west, you know what I mean? That's why we did it. And we only got to finish that actually about a week ago, to bury all the pipes and do all the gaps, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, look, it's often one of them limiting factors, but it's a great investment when it's there.
Yeah, it took me a while. Yeah, I was a slow learner, but I saw it in other farms, and I just bit the bullet and did it, and got TAMs for some of it and didn't for the others. But no, it's worth doing if you can. Let it be 1 strand of electric or 2 strands, and we put up hedging since you were last there. A lot of hedging went up. There's more fencing done, but the other fencing was done with 4 strands of wire. You don't even have to do sheep wire. 4 strands of electric, and the lambs won't go through it. So Good job.
And the fact you have the paddock system in place, Olivia, in the coming weeks and moving on into the summer, how does that help you to manage grass? And mentioned there earlier your demand and supply for the different groups of stock. How is that helping?
Well, I hope in a month's time that I'll have a lot of grass in some fields and I get to close them off and pick up bales, because I need bales, you know what I mean? This spring was, Jesus, one not to forget really, you know what I mean? It was so long and so hard, so I need a lot of silage. You know, normally I'd have a few bales or, 15, 20 bales left over. I have none of that. I think I have 3 bales left over. So I need a lot of silage. So hopefully grass will take off in the next 2 or 3 weeks and I'll be able to tighten up the sheep, tighten up the cows, and get extra bales that I would normally get. And last year I bought bales, so maybe I mightn't have to buy any this year. I might be able to produce enough grass, but I need to grow as much grass as I can. I need a lot of silage because nobody knows when your spring is. Is it going to finish in February, March, April, or May? You know what I mean? We don't know. And this year was kind of one of those unusual years that may or may never happen again, but it did happen, so we have to be ready for it again.
Most definitely. And the autumn is always seen as the time of year for setting up for spring, and particularly when you're mixed grazing beef and sheep and you've ewes lambing in the spring. What are your kind of key areas that you're focusing on building up grass in the autumn so you have grass available in the spring?
We'll say on home farm when we'll be reducing the cow numbers, so come we'll say August, September, that'll be closed. When we take off cows, there'll be very few cows in that farm and we'll close it up. So in the springtime for the 2 weeks the ewes are home, we'll be able to have nice grass there for them and maybe let out cows early. And then in Teagasc, once we'll say cows or calf off a paddock in February, they won't go back on it again, you know what I mean? And we'll try and close off 30-40 acres, you know what I mean, September or October, because I need grass in February, because I'm lambing so early, I need grass. So I will be closing paddocks in October, November. Mightn't be a whole lot of grass in them, hopefully there'll be a little bit of growth, but you need grass to grow grass. So yeah, come September, October, I'll be getting ready for spring again because I've no choice, I have to.
So that can ties in, it's maybe one of the challenges in the mixed grazing system. Your priorities change right away throughout the year. So obviously at the moment it's keeping grass in front of the cows, you're pushing lambs on. That shift as the year goes on, Olivia,
Yeah, now we'll say in Teagasc it's to get the lamb thriving. It's to get the lamb going and putting on as much weight as he can. At home it's to get the cow back and calf again. It's a vicious circle and we're constantly have to be moving with it. And I need grass, I need grass all year round. You know what I mean? Spring I need it for the ewe after lambing. Summer I need it to push the lamb. And then we'll say in autumn I need it for the weanling. So it's push grass and keep it going.
And you mentioned you're not mealing lambs at the moment, so you're not post-weaning. Do you meal a batch or do you pick a point then? Do you say, right, grass is priority now, I need to get the ewes back in condition, you have weanlings to push on. Do you go with stores at a certain point?
Yeah, actually I have started doing that this last 2 or 3 years. If I have 40 or 50 lambs left in, we'll say, last week in August or September, I said bring them to the market, they're gone. I can't be looking at them. Do you know what I mean? Because I need it for the ewes, because they got to get ready, you know what I mean? I need nice grass for them. So if I have 30 or 40 lambs, you know what I mean? Maybe this year they could be all gone. So they go well. So, you know what I mean? Somebody else can finish them because I won't buy meal. I buy it for pets that we rear in a machine, but I won't buy it for, we'll say, others. Maybe I should, but look at it. I just don't do it. My value is on grass.
Well, your demand shifts as well. Like your suckler herd, obviously the demand is going up for them at that time of the year as well. So it's getting that balance, I suppose. Yeah.
And you mentioned a lot there, Olivia, in the last number of minutes. For farmers that's in a similar system when it comes to managing grass, what are the 3 tips you have for farmers?
To grow as much as you can and value it, you know what I mean? Grass is valuable sort of, we can grow grass in Ireland if we get enough heat. I know we get enough water, but we need to value it. No point growing it and then topping it and cutting it in the ground or letting sheep or letting cows in and it's too heavy, you know what I mean? We've got to value grass. Tips, paddocks if you could do them, you know what I mean? It'll help. Make nice quality silage. I don't go for bulk, I go for quality. There's a slight difference, you know what I mean? This year I need a bit of bulk and quality, but I still, quality is what I need. If there's no load of bales on it, I don't mind. But if there's good bales on it, they're worth anything. And try and get a little bit of hay, but we didn't get hay last year. So hopefully now we might get hay this year. But it's to make the good quality silage. And a lot of farmers go for bulk, but quality is, I think, is quite important. Our big thing, we'll say, is hygiene and straw, you know what I mean? I value straw a lot. Clean the pins out. Some people will be looking at me, would only lamb, been it a couple of hours, 12 hours. Pin is cleaned out. You know what I mean? Some people, because in our group you'd see the amount of money they spend on veterinary bills. Mine is down to hygiene. If your hands and your Wellingtons aren't clean, I have a young lad with me and he'd just be looking at me, if you can't drink out of that bucket, don't ask the ewe or the cow to drink out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's important. So I would emphasise a lot with our ewes and our cows is hygiene. Keep it clean, you clean, pins clean. We still get scours. I think we got one this year. You'll still lose an odd lamb or you get we'll say joint ill, but still hygiene. Hygiene is very important for us, you know what I mean, or for me, you know what I mean.
That's great. Thanks very much, Olivia.
Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Kieran.
We'll leave it there for this week's episode. I'd like to thank Olivia and Catherine for coming on. It was good catching up with Olivia and hearing a bit more about her farming system. That's it for me. For updates on our sheep programme, keep an eye on our Twitter page at Teagasc Sheep. I'm Kieran Lynch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and follow us for more episodes.